Imagine this. A powerful CEO, used to getting everything her way, mocks a mechanic with an impossible challenge. Fix this engine and I'll marry you, she says. But what happens next will shock you. This mechanic doesn't just fix the car, he changes everything. You won't believe how this story unfolds. Stay tuned, because this is one twist you don't want to miss. And if you're part of the Black Visionaries family, hit that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories like this one. Samantha Knight had it all. At 35, she was a successful CEO of a high-end tech company, a company she built from the ground up. She had the wealth, the luxury cars, the penthouse apartment, and the admiration of the business world. Everything she had ever dreamed of was within her reach, but despite her success, there was something she couldn't seem to buy: respect for those she deemed beneath her. And for Samantha, anyone working a manual labor job was, in her eyes, in that category. Lamar Davis, on the other hand, had lived a very different life. Growing up in a lower-income neighborhood, Lamar learned the value of hard work at an early age. As a mechanic, he spent his days fixing cars in a small, dusty garage that smelled of oil and grease. He didn't mind it. In fact, it gave him a sense of pride. He wasn't just fixing machines, he was solving problems, and that was what he was good at. Lamar had dreams, big ones. He wanted to own his own auto repair shop and maybe even turn it into a nationwide chain. But for now, he was stuck in a small town, trying to make a living and keep his head above water. One sunny afternoon, everything changed for both of them. Samantha's luxury sports car, a limited edition Aston Martin, broke down on the side of the road. Of course, she could have called a premium service or had it towed to the dealership, but she decided to go with her assistant's recommendation and hire a mechanic from the local garage. Little did she know that this decision would lead to one of the most unexpected and life-changing encounters of her life. When Lamar showed up to fix her car, Samantha wasn't impressed. In fact, she didn't even bother to come down from her mansion to greet him. Her assistant had already briefed her about the mechanic's name and background, but to Samantha, this was just another blue-collar worker who didn't matter much in the grand scheme of things. She was too busy to waste time on him. But as soon as Lamar started working on the car, Samantha decided to go out and check on him. She stood by the car, arms crossed, watching him intently. The air between them was tense, the silence almost suffocating. She didn't really expect him to fix the car. After all, what could a mechanic from a small garage possibly know about a high-end sports car like hers? To her, it was just another symbol of how different their worlds were. She was a powerful CEO, and he was just a mechanic who fixed things for a living. After a few minutes, she broke the silence. "You know," she said with a mocking smile, "if you can actually fix this engine, I might consider marrying you. Think you're up for that challenge?" Her words were dripping with sarcasm, her tone dismissive and condescending. Lamar paused for a second, his hand still on the engine. He could have gotten angry, walked away, or fired back with a sarcastic comment of his own. But instead, he just looked at her for a moment, his face calm. "I don't need to marry you to fix your car, Miss Knight, but I'll show you I can," he said with quiet confidence. Samantha scoffed, assuming he was just trying to act tough. "Go ahead, then. Let's see what you've got," she said, clearly amused by what she thought was an empty challenge. What happened next stunned her. Lamar wasn't just any mechanic. He was a problem solver, and this car, no matter how complicated it seemed, was just another puzzle to him. As he worked on the engine, he realized it wasn't just a simple issue, it was a complex problem involving several systems. But instead of getting flustered or giving up, he approached it with the same focus he brought to everything he did. He methodically diagnosed the problem, taking his time, checking every part, and making sure he understood the entire system. He didn't need expensive tools or high-tech machines. He relied on his hands, his mind, and years of experience. Samantha, on the other hand, started to grow impatient. She kept checking her watch, tapping her foot as the hours dragged on. This wasn't how she expected things to go. She assumed that Lamar would give up in frustration, that he'd admit defeat and ask her to call a professional. But the longer she watched him, the more she realized something. He wasn't just working on her car. He was proving a point. Lamar knew that Samantha had mocked him when she made that comment about marriage. But he wasn't doing this for her approval, and he certainly wasn't doing it to impress her. He was doing it because he knew he could fix the problem, and that's what mattered to him. Finally, after hours of meticulous work, Lamar stepped back from the car and wiped the sweat from his forehead. He had done it. The engine purred like a kitten, running smoothly and efficiently. Lamar had fixed it. Samantha stood there, completely stunned. She had spent the entire afternoon thinking she was dealing with someone who didn't have the skills or the expertise to even come close to solving the issue, but Lamar had proven her wrong. She walked over to the car, her heels clicking on the concrete as she leaned in and started the engine. It roared to life, and for the first time, Samantha was speechless. She didn't know what to say. The car was fixed, and Lamar had done it. She looked at him, a mix of surprise and admiration on her face. "Wait, you actually fixed it?" Her voice was softer now, her earlier mockery replaced by genuine curiosity. Lamar didn't say much. "I told you I could," he replied, his tone steady. He had nothing to prove to her anymore. He had done the job, and that was enough for him. Samantha stood there for a moment, her mind racing. The arrogant thoughts she'd held earlier started to melt away. She couldn't deny it. Lamar had done something she never thought was possible. But it wasn't just the car. It was the fact that a man like him, someone she had dismissed so easily, had turned the tables on her. He had proven that true value doesn't come from your status, your background, or your wealth. It comes from who you are and what you're capable of. Lamar didn't ask for money. He didn't demand anything in return. "I don't want your money," he said, holding up a hand when Samantha reached for her wallet. "I did it because I could. That's enough for me." Samantha stood there, speechless. She was a CEO used to calling the shots, used to being in control of every situation. But now, in front of Lamar, she realized that her world had just been turned upside down. She thought she had everything figured out, but Lamar had shown her that true power isn't about status or money. It's about knowing your worth and having the confidence to show up when it matters. Days passed, but Samantha couldn't stop thinking about Lamar. She found herself reflecting on her life, on her arrogance, and on the way she had treated people. The more she thought about him, the more she realized how much she had misunderstood him. He wasn't just a mechanic. He was a man of ambition, a man with dreams. And in many ways, his dreams were much bigger than hers. He wasn't interested in luxury or fame. He just wanted to build something meaningful. Samantha reached out to Lamar a few weeks later. They sat down for coffee, and for the first time, they shared their stories with each other. Lamar spoke about his struggles growing up, about how he had always dreamed of owning his own auto shop. Samantha shared her experiences of climbing the corporate ladder, of the sacrifices she had made to get to where she was. As they talked, something shifted. What had started as a business transaction began to feel like the beginning of something more. Eventually, Samantha offered Lamar a partnership. "I know I said some things I shouldn't have," she admitted, her voice sincere. "But I've been thinking about you a lot, and I want to make things right. I can help you take your business to the next level. Together, we could build something incredible." Lamar smiled, a small but genuine grin. He hadn't expected this, but he also knew that this was a new beginning for both of them. They both had something to offer, and together, they could create something even greater than what either of them had imagined. Over the months that followed, their partnership flourished. They combined Lamar's mechanical genius with Samantha's business acumen, creating a thriving auto repair empire. But their story wasn't just about success in business. It was about breaking down barriers and learning to see people for who they truly were, not the labels they carried. Samantha learned that real value lies not in what you own, but in what you can give. While Lamar learned that sometimes the most unexpected partnerships are the ones that lead to the greatest achievements. Their story is a reminder that no matter where you come from, no matter what others might think of you, your worth is determined by your actions and the way you show up in the world. Sometimes the most important lessons come from the least likely places in the most unexpected people. Thanks for watching. If you were as shocked as I was, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more unbelievable stories like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay aware and stay tuned.